Hello and welcome everyone, it's Capcan and we're looking at the Hunter talent tree from the Dragonflight. We're starting with the basic Hunter overall tree itself, and then we will look at the marksmanship tree in the next video. So, Hunter tree, when you're spec'd into the marksmanship, your kill shot is automatically taken. You attempt to finish off a wounded target, dealing 230% of attack damage, only usable on enemies with less than 20% health. That's our current ability, signature stuff. Nothing new here. Concussive shot. Dazes the target, slowing movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. Steady shot will increase the duration of concussive shot on the target by 3 seconds. So, concussive shot is something that you don't really use that often outside of PvP. Because you already have your tar trap, which is just a wee slow, and you don't really need your concussive. Of course, you probably have it on your fast slots and stuff on some quick cast and all that stuff, but yeah, you probably can even skip it if you want it. There's not that big of a problem here. Kill command, which is quite interesting because you can get kill command in with marksmanship as well, and you can probably even go for pet stuff. Yeah, right here we're gonna look if you're gonna have lone wolf. Yes, you do have, which probably means that you're not taking kill command as well. If the lone wolf steals the tactic to go, then probably you really don't. Okay, let's just take it for pure visuals here and for right now, and don't think about general tree only in terms of marksmanship. I need to do that with myself because I'm like leaning myself too hard in terms of some particular subclass thoughts. Trailblazer. Your movement speed is increased by 15% anytime you have not attacked for 3 seconds. So that's anytime you have not attacked for 3 seconds and you've been out of combat, which is very interesting. Okay, here we have post haste. Disengage also frees you from all movement impairing abilities and increases your movement speed by 25%, and here probably for 50% for 4 seconds. I don't really know if currently we have only frees you from roots, or does it have from all movement impairing effects as well? If I'm not wrong, then we have only roots and stuff. If you can get out of fears, out of like stuns and stuff, it's very, very cool. It's definitely very awesome, and you're probably gonna take at least 1 point in this talent. Improved kill shot's critical damage is increased by 25%, so critical multiplier. Improved mend pet. So yeah, probably this part of the tree is for the meant for your beastmaster, and this part starts with your signature marksmanship stuff. Trailblazer. So improved mend pet heals for an additional 25% of your pet's health over its duration, and has a 25% chance to dispel a magic effect each time it heals your pet. All right, you can invest 2 points into that. Is that for some open world stuff where you need to heal your pet more? I don't know. Okay, let's go with Trailblazer here with improved kill shot here. So the tree itself is not so heavily structured as trees of the other classes, so it's way more like it's a very big center that is connected through one by one with everyone, and it doesn't really have such sections as we saw already in other specs and other classes. Counter shot interrupts spellcasting, preventing any spell in that scroll from being cast for 3 seconds. 24 seconds cooldown. That's very, very good. and it's in the center, which is cool as well. Natural Mending. Every 25 focus you spend reduces the remaining cooldown on acceleration by 1 second, and it can be every 12 focus, which gives you more self-sustain, gives you more heals. Maybe if you have something other than that, that you can use your points and gain damage, you may not take that in all cases, but it's still pretty good. Survival of the Fittest reduces all damage you and your pet take by 20% for 6 seconds. Is that the ability? Does this ability becomes if you have your pet up and ready, then this becomes your pet signature button? If I'm correct, and I'm probably correct, and it probably will still be like that. So yeah, that's the thing that you're definitely taking anyway, because for marksmanship it's just reducing all damage. For Beastmaster and survival, it's quite often the bloodlust. Misdirection. Misdirects all threat you cause to the target party or raid member, beginning with your next attack within 30 seconds and lasting for 8 seconds. Yeah, this stuff your ordinary gamer probably don't really use that often, especially, I mean, in pugs, in not as heavy gameplay oriented groups where you try to min-max every single second of your existence. Yeah, you can probably skip misdirection. At least maybe I'm the noob here, and I almost never used that skill. Tar Trap is way better. Yeah, it's AoE movement reducing stuff is just good. Maybe not in the raids, but still pretty okay talent, and you probably need at least some way to get to these talents. So yeah, you'll probably take it, especially because it goes after counter shot. Tranquilizing shot removes 1 enrage and 1 magic effect from an enemy target. Okay, so removing enrages is still our the skill that we had already. Acceleration heals you for an additional 10% of your maximum health over 8 seconds. So more emphasis on solo heals. That's not that much. With the lower cooldown of acceleration itself, it's probably gonna be not that bad, but still feels more like an open world talent rather than maybe like, but man, I don't really do hardcore stuff. Maybe I'm wrong here. Still, it's good that you have ability to increase your healing skill in order to survive more damage if you need that. Damage taken from area of effect attacks reduced by 6%. All right. Choose one. Lone Survivor. Reduce the cooldown of Survival of the Fittest by 30 seconds and increase its duration by 2 seconds. That's our Survival of the Fittest. So 2.5 minutes cooldown and duration for 8 seconds. Nature's Endurance. And Survival of the Fittest reduces damage taken by an additional 20%. Oh. And that's maybe the talent that you really want, because additional like 40% reduce for 6 seconds instead of 20% reduce for 8 seconds, and like 1/6 of the cooldown, or even 1/6 of a cooldown. It's not, I guess Nature's Endurance is way better talent here. Scare Beast, and another spell that you probably, this part, like Tranquilizing Shot, you may take, may don't take. Scare Beast, you probably don't really take. It's like fluff ability. Damage cost may interrupt the effect. Only one beast can be feared. Maybe in some situation. Of course, it has some of its uses, but generally you don't really use it that often. When Tranquilizing Shot successfully dispels an effect, gain 10 focus, which gives you a incentive to use your Tranquilizing Shots to dispel stuff from the enemies more often, which may be okay. So, all right. Choose one. Intimidation. Instant. 1 minute cooldown. Commands your pet to intimidate the target, stunning it for 5 seconds. And marksmen have ability to do that as well, which is pretty cool. Additional stun for 5 seconds. Good for PvP. Good for some PvE encounters, of course, as well. High explosive trap. Instant 40 seconds cooldown. Hurls a fire trap to the target location that explodes when an enemy approaches, causing 57% of attack power fire damage and knocking all enemies away. Trap will exist for 1 minute. So it's an additional way for you to knock back enemies. Pretty interesting for PvP. I don't really know. Yeah, if you're going to play with Lone Wolf, you're definitely not gonna take Intimidation because you don't really have your pet. You wouldn't have your pet. And High Explosive Trap, well, it depends how it plays. It depends on the encounters as well. Choose one. Scatter Shot. Instant 30 seconds cooldown. A short range and 20 yards range, yeah. A short range shot that deals 4% of attack power damage, removes all harmful damage over time effects and incapacitates the target for 4 seconds. Any damage caused will remove the effects turns off your attack when used. So, oh yeah, that's definitely... yeah, that's definitely almost PvP only talent. So much stuff that you don't really need it in PvP as much as you need it in PvP, and yeah, quite, at least for now, Hunter tree looks utilitarian. It looks very heavily utilitarian. And Binding Shot. Okay, fires a magical projectile, tethering the enemy and any other enemies within 5 yards for 10 seconds, rooting them in place for 8 seconds if they move more than 5 yards from the arrow. I've saw some changes to the Binding Shot so that it will work more on pair with other AoE stun root abilities. So probably the description of the skill may not be the best. But still, Binding Shot is good in PvP and PvP both. So yeah, Binding Shot is very much better than your Scatter Shot if you're gonna play in Mythic Plus or in raids and stuff. Let's see. Okay, I'll take some of them. And Improved Traps. The cooldown of Tar Trap, Steel Trap, High Explosive Trap, and Freezing Trap is reduced by 2.5 seconds and 5 seconds. So much emphasis on traps though. Camouflage. Oh, and now you can enjoy your camouflage and be able to get some other utility stuff. It's pretty interesting, it's pretty cool. Born to be Wild. Reduces the cooldowns of the aspect of Cheetah, Survival of the Fittest, and aspect of the Turtle by 10%. It goes after Camouflage. There is Survival's icon. I've thought that it reduces the cooldown of Camouflage as well, but no, it doesn't. Alright, so more defensive stuff. Sentinel, NYI, so maybe changed. Call forth a Sentinel Owl to the target location, granting you unhindered vision. Your attacks ignore line of sight against any target in this area. Every 200 focus spent grants you 1 second of the Sentinel Owl when cast, up to a maximum of 12 seconds. The Sentinel Owl can only be summoned. It will last at least 5 seconds. Okay, interesting. So ignoring your line of sight may be crucial in some encounters. Yeah, but probably you don't really need that. You don't really need it too hard for your M+, for example. Movement speed increased by 6% and by 3 or 6%, yes. And Binding Shackles. Targets rooted by Binding Shot, knocked back by High Explosive Trap, incapacitated by Scatter Shot, or stunned by Intimidation, deals 10% less damage to you for 8 seconds after the root or stun effect ends. Yeah, that's quite PvP heavy focused stuff over here. Because In M+, these targets probably wouldn't attack you anyway. In raids, you probably want to use your binding shot in order to just stop some ads from reaching to other area of the encounter. Yeah, interesting. So like, yeah, so there are almost no truly damage increasing abilities, talents, choices that will affect you. It's all utility. Either personal utility or group utility or some stuff like that, or some PvP. I don't want to say clutter, but yeah. Talents and hunters. Maybe I don't really like this part of the hunter aesthetic with all the traps, with all the like survival aspects of that, with the tranquilization of beasts, with and maybe I'm not so good as other people, and I don't really use like stuff like tranquilizing shot as much, or misdirection, or even no. Tar trap is good. I don't have anything against tar trap. But yeah, looks a little bit similar to the Paladin general tree, where you have all your current utility and it's just scattered through the talent tree, through the base talent tree. You don't have anything that gives you like mastery, damage. You don't really have that. You don't really have many abilities that go into your base rotation as well. Everything seems kinda okay, and that's a little bit underwhelming. And now we're going into the good part of the tree. Of course, here will be all the good juice that gives you damage, that gives you powerful stuff, that gives you choice. Yeah, but middle and start of the tree feels just like we're getting what we already have. But do we get this, or are we getting this and we already have access to? So not that much new stuff, which is quite sad. Choose one. Sentinel's Perception. Sentinel Owl now also grants unhindered vision to party members while active. Okay. Sentinel Wisdom, and it's all can be like changed. While the Sentinel Owl is active, your party takes 10% reduced nature damage, and the Sentinel Owl removes 1 poison and disease effect from a party member every 1 second. Man. Again, it's either I am who is quite wrong here, or the talents doesn't really look that hot. Okay, let's go with our main stuff. Beastmaster, pet damage increased by 6%. Definitely for your Beast Mastery. Improved kill command damage increased by 5%. Choose one Killer Instinct. Kill command deals 50% increased damage against enemies below 35% health. Or Alpha Predator, kill command now has 2 charges and deals 15% increased damage. Kill command, it uses focus, which means that you probably wouldn't really want to use it as marksmanship, which yes, you can create some weird kind of a hybrid, but you don't really given any resources in order to do that, so you don't get any free kill commands that you can weave into your rotation, and don't lose your damage as marksmanship, and you don't really want to take your pet either way, so that means that like this part of the tree is gonna be only it's gonna be only Beastmaster. Oh no, it can be survival as well. But for marksmanship, yeah, it's pretty much dead here. Critical strike chance increased by 2%. Yes, just straight up critical strike chance. And here we have your melee and ranged special attack. Critical strike causes the target to bleed for an additional 7% of the damage dealt over 6 seconds. Okay. Let's go with central part. Nessingueri's trapping apparatus. Whenever you successfully freeze and trap an enemy, gain 20 focus and increase all focus gained by 50% for 5 seconds. quite interesting. 40-second and increase 100 focus generation by 100%. So your freezing trap can become you can like use it just in order to use it, and you will have additional focus and focus generation. So even if you don't really want to use your freezing trap at all, you're just like, go get them. It gets the enemy that you're currently attacking. You just ignore its effect. You straight up attack the enemy, continue to attack the enemy. Freeze trap goes nowhere, but you gain some focus generation. Yeah, that's gonna be useful in any situations, but again, you have to look at it in perspective of all the other skills that you can get from here. Steel trap. Instant 30 seconds cooldown hurls a steel trap to the target location that snaps shut on the first enemy that approaches, immobilizing them for 20 seconds and causing them to bleed for 200% of attack power damage. Damage other than steel trap may break the immobilization effect. The trap will exist for 1 minute. Very good PvP stuff. And I don't really know if you're gonna use it in PvE, to be honest. Yeah. Choose one. Stampede. Summon a herd of stampeding animals from the wilds around you that deal 22% of attack power multiplied by 6. Physical damage to your enemies over 12 seconds. Enemies stuck by the stampede are snared by 30%, and you have 10% increased critical strike chance against them. 2 minutes cooldown. Pretty good AoE damage cooldown. Don't really know about the damage numbers themselves. Death Chakram. Okay. Throw a deadly chakram at your current target that will rapidly deal 31% of attack power physical damage 7 times. Bounce into other targets if they are nearby. Enemies struck by Death Chakram take 10% more damage from you and your pet for 10 seconds. Each time the chakram deals damage, its damage is increased by 15% and you generate 3 focus. 45 seconds cooldown. So the damage itself is not so big. It's instant 45% seconds cooldown. I prefer this talent way more than Stampede. And you deal more damage to the enemies that you struck with Death Chakram, which seems like a complete no-brainer. It's very good. Yes, all right. Now what do we have here? Arctic Bola. For marksmanship, it's aimed shot. For beastmaster, it's cobra shot, and for survival, it's mongoose bite. Has a chance to fling an Arctic Bola at your target, dealing 20% of attack power frost damage, so not that much, and snaring the target by 50% for 3 seconds. The Arctic Bola bounces up to 2 times, approximately 2 procs per minute. So that's more of some kind of a PvP stuff. Or stuff that you want to use in order to kite the enemy, but you don't really kite your raid bosses. You don't really kite. You can help kite packs inside the M+, but is it necessary if tanks already have all the slows that they need? Additional damage procs, okay, I guess. Choose one. Explosive shot. 30 seconds cooldown, so explosive shot fires an explosive shot at your target. After 3 seconds the shot will explode, dealing some fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Costs 20 focus. Pretty good AoE cooldown, but still 20 focus, 30 seconds cooldown. Barrage channel, 3 seconds cast time, 20 seconds cooldown. Yes, requires any even beastmastery or marksmanship. Oh, and that was for marksmanship as well. So survival will have different talents here. Rapidly fires a spray of shots for 3 seconds, dealing an average of 14% of attack power multiplied by 11. Physical damage to all nearby enemies in front of you. Usable while moving, deals reduced damage beyond 8 targets. Yeah, so barrage is pretty. It looks pretty cool. You don't really take it that often nowadays, as if I remember correctly, on marksmanship. Yeah, still our nothing new. Our old skills are currently here. Master Marksman. we've already looked at. We have our Serpent Sting in for marksmanship as well, which is quite interesting. Fire a shot that poisons your target, causing them to take some nature damage instantly, an additional 99% of attack power nature damage over 18 seconds. So you would have a dot latent poison. Injectors. Serpent Stings is definitely like single target stuff. Serpent Sting damage applies latent poison to the target, stacking up to 10 times. For Beastmaster, Barbed Shot, for Marksmanship, Aim Shot, and for Survival, Raptor Strike or Mongoose Bite consumes all stacks of latent poison, dealing nature damage to the target per stack consumed. So it's like builder, and then it builds up the damage. Then you, with your swing or with your attack from the far away, you're just exploding that stuff, which is again seems pretty cool for PvP and for single target damage, and definitely not AoE. Hydra's Bite. Serpent's Sting fires arrows to 2 additional enemies near your target, and its damage over time is increased by 20%. It costs focus, at least 10, so not that much. I don't really know how much are you gonna use it, how viable is it. Yeah, hunter abilities are way more questionable, and you really need to test the numbers up of them. And serrated shots. Serpent Sting, so this is one, and bleed damage increased by 10%. This value is increased to 20% against targets below 30% health, which is alright. Mixed feelings about the Hunter talent tree. Some things are good. Most of the things are the things that we currently already have. Yes, you can mix and match some abilities from one spec that currently has only one spec, and you can get them in other specs. It can be interesting. You can change a little bit your rotation, change a little bit stuff that you're doing. Mostly it's heavily emphasized on like utility, slows, and there is like many abilities that seem like completely PvP talents, which I don't really know how to think about them. So nothing new, like I don't know, Fire Blazer, Arrow, Ice Barrage, Lightning Arrows, and stuff like that could have been like some more interesting, more cool, more badass, which don't think that I'm shitting on the Hunter. No, it's interesting class already. It has many utility stuff that is good. I hope that at least subclass trees will get me excited more. There will be more interesting shit that you can get in, and you can tinker with, and stuff like that. So thanks for your attention, for your time. I hope you're having a good one, and goodbye.